So they're on now.
Hello everyone out there in the worldwide website. I'm Steve from Blues Clues. I screwed that up. And this is Hack the Dino Gaming Cast. We bring you the past, present, and future of video games, news, previews, and Blues Cues. I did it again!
Blues Q. Oh my god, now I'm doing it!
Yeah, now, Anto, say it.
Blues Clues.
Yeah, there you go.
Shit.
So you had prep time.
Now say bathroom.
Bathroom.
Now say yogurt.
No. I refuse.
We are here to talk about all the things video games and to let you know, fine listener, that we are ever spiraling down the cascading hole of renaming. Renaming the show. We've come up with a name, we've come up with a theme, and a revamp of the show will be coming soon. If you would like to know what that will be, head on over to the Discord on hackthedino.com. Join, jump in, they'll be getting it first, and then in 2 weeks' time on the, what are we doing, 27th maybe? 28th?
Next one's the 13th, and then the next one after that will be, 27th.
Yeah.
Spoiler, the show's going to be called Ben's Cues.
That's right. Ben's cue ball.
I was going to say there's a bold joke here somewhere.
Anyway, I'm Ben Rosenthal. You should probably ignore that. If anyone comes asking you about me, just say you don't know me. But do say you know this man, Flappy.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Floppy Starrick.
Hello, everyone.
I want to see a Flappy Bird clone.
You want to see me flap?
Just Floppy flaps his
I
floppy.
wore can I just point out, for the first time ever, I think I've worn a video game themed t-shirt and I can't
It's
see
blocked
it.
off, yep.
Look at this. Look what I'm wearing. And it's got like a little snake there.
Is there anything on the back?
There is.
Don't stand up and say there's a little snake there, Floppy.
Yeah, climbing up the shirt.
It's cool. This was a gift. It was a gift from a friend of the show. So I was speaking to the microphone. Friend of the show, V, who found it for me at...
Uniqlo.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Uniqlo. Anto is also here. We got the full Dino Squad.
Hello. I'm not dying anymore.
Hooray!
Whoa, yeah! Flappy Bum and Anto. Ooh.
Flappy Bun and Amto
And rounding out the Triforce of Power.
with a fourth piece.
Are you saying one of them's left over?
I'm the gap in the middle.
Two things. First of all,
Up the gap in the middle?
the gap in the middle is canonical in Zelda lore.
Well, I thought we were making a rude joke.
Yeah. And secondly, the very first Zelda games, it did say, as it did in the cartoon series, whoever collects the both pieces of the Triforce.
Both of the
Both
Triforce.
of the Triforce. Because the Triforce of Courage wasn't actually part of it until Ocarina of Time.
Wow, it's like you get all three pieces of the quadrant.
A Link to the Past, that's the one I meant. That's right, it was the goddesses creating Hyrule that was an Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's your Zelda lore. It's almost like you don't know video games, but we'll deal about that later. What are we doing?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, Braden's here.
Yeah,
Shall we
trying to
introduce?
segue into
Wow.
a Braden introduction.
Oh, damn.
Braden!
You are on fire.
Hey, Braden.
How's it going?
I forgot you were here.
Oh, thanks, man.
What's going on? What are you doing?
I want to congratulate you on trying to work through your speech impediment. You've got this. I believe in you.
Can you say
Anto,
Theopolis the
congrats
Slut?
on immortality.
Hang on, let me just do some of my warm-up exercises.
Floppy, nice shirt.
How good are in-jokes that no one is privy to?
It's good stuff.
Hey, look, seeing other people laugh is a fun time.
Anyway, who wants to talk about games they're playing?
I'll go last.
Okay, so, Braden,
Howdy.
what you been playing?
I played like 20 hours of Baldur's Gate 3 this week. It's good.
Those are rookie numbers.
I know. It makes
You gotta
me...
pop those up.
So, I played about 20 hours all up, and then I restarted the game because I wasn't happy with what
Who you were banging?
with my character class and decisions and everything. I was like, nah.
If you could just restart because you weren't happy with that. Oh my boy.
No, we're talking about games, Floppy.
Yeah, video games, not real life. But so I've been playing a ton of that, but I'm not just going to talk about that at length for everyone. So I wanted to sacrifice my time, one, to discuss something which conveniently Floppy's going to bring up, so we can talk about it there. So I just get to talk about, you'll see this Sonic trailer. This looks actually really fun.
All right, I think it's well known that I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic.
Yeah.
I will say after watching this trailer, that looks fun as hell.
I mean, like, Keanu Reeves' Shadow is hilarious.
Jim
And he
Carrey
looks so
coming
good.
out of retirement just to do Robotnik.
Had he
And
retired?
against himself. I was so sold on the film at the end of the trailer.
No, it does look fun. It looks like a cartoon though, but
Yeah.
who cares? It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Will be a good time.
Dude, I like, if I just like skip it, like it is vintage Jim Carrey, which I love.
He's just given it one last hurrah, hasn't he?
Oh yeah. And it's good.
Anto, got anything to say?
I'm just like ravenously excited for this. I was saying to Brayden before the show started, there's a bit in the trailer where Shadow uses chaos control but doesn't say it, which is going to be great.
Oh,
hearing
Keanu's
Keanu
going to say it. Oh.
He grabs Knuckles by the fist, twists his arm, and then kicks him into the air, just like that.
Just like that.
And that is a direct scene from Dragon Ball Z where Vegeta kicks second form Cell into the air before he turns perfect.
So they
and it
ripped
is-
off Dragon Ball Z. Why didn't they do one of the Sonic things?
They haven't ripped it off. It's paying homage too.
They also do the Akira bike
They
slide.
do the Akira bike slide with Shadow on a motorcycle. It's going to be amazing. Fun fact, the person who did all of the in-game cinematics for Shadow the Hedgehog was the first person they tapped on the shoulder and said, hey, we want you to animate Shadow in the movie.
Damn.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
20 years ago,
That's wild.
he did a thing and he was brought back for this, which is brilliant. I love the fact that Sega remember people they've worked with and get people who love the stuff to come back and do
I mean,
it.
they didn't really have that big a workforce anyway, so it'd be hard to forget.
Keanu Reeves has definitely said the F word in films and stuff, right?
Yes.
What?
So we can edit so that Shadow does say the F word.
Oh,
in
we
this
can.
film.
Yeah, you're allowed to say fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Shadow's gonna get fucky.
My only concern with this movie is it's launching worldwide on the same day as the next Lion King film. So it's probably not going to do very well
I forgot
financially
that-
compared to that.
You think what? There's another Lion King.
I
Which is
forgot
like the
there was
fourth
a
one
new
now?
Lion King film, and I also forgot that it even had a trailer and exists. I haven't seen it.
Do you mean like an animated one?
It's like a prequel
to
about
the
Mufasa's life
CGI
and how he got
live
picked up.
action?
No one's gonna give a
one.
shit about that.
I hope
though.
not, because this needs to be seen.
Didn't James L. Jones retire?
Yes.
Yeah, but this is Mufasa as a child,
baby.
right?
Oh,
Another
my
Lion
God.
King, just
Oh,
let
no,
it die
it
already.
looks-
They already did that right off the cliff.
It looks rough, guys.
It doesn't look good.
like Jasmine, who is I think we can all say, pretty fanatical Disney fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't notice.
Yeah, she went and watched the original. Well, I say original. That animation looks like crap. I love the way they call it the live action. It's not live action. It's all CGI. It's not live action.
I
at
think
all.
they mean the more realistic animated one.
Is that Kimbra? The white
The white
Kimber,
lion.
the white lion is his name.
Is Kimber the white lion there?
Yes.
Anyway, she hated it. Looked like crap.
Yeah, it
and
looks
this
rough.
also looks like crap. All right, Floppy, what have you been playing?
Not a lot. I have been working my ass off for the last 2 weeks. But also, I've had 3 of my kids' birthdays in August. One of which was Thomas, which was yesterday. And I have been going to work all day and then coming home and building up a bedroom for him.
Happy birthday!
Pretty sure he's not watching.
Happy birthday.
But thank you anyway.
Happy
He turned
birthday.
7.
Happy
good number.
birthday!
Yeah, and my eldest turned 25.
Oh, happy
Also a good
birthday.
number.
So, mate, that one is the first time it made me feel old.
Happy birthday.
But yeah, so I haven't played much at all. I've been working on it. But what I did do yesterday
Happy birthday?
is I installed a game. Star Wars Outlaws.
Birthday!
I've installed Star Wars Outlaws, and this morning I even found time to watch the opening cutscene and walk around a bit.
Wow.
And I'll tell you this,
It's a solid 7.
walked around pretty good.
Now, Floppy, what are you playing this on?
PS5.
PS5.
Yeah, I should have said a calculator.
Well, it's very convenient for you that you started and installed it just this past day, because I don't know if you've seen the news from this week.
No.
Well, there's quite a story behind Star Wars Outlaws on PS5.
Yes, there is.
Oh,
Really?
And
Yeah.
Outlaws altogether.
What a surprise.
So, Ubisoft...
Does it involve Star Wars fans by any chance?
No,
Oh,
it involves Ubisoft.
Oh, of course.
Oh, wow. Also, what a surprise.
So Ubisoft had to put out a update and a patch to this game on PS5 because
Right.
it turns out there was a progression locking bug
Of course there was.
that you could get stuck in space and not be able to progress the game any further.
I don't understand why this is news. That happens to every fucking game ever.
So Ubisoft put out a patch for it. They put out the update.
Yeah.
Sent the update out. People update.
Yep.
Players on PlayStation 5 had to restart the game from scratch.
But when did they? It only came out.
A new save file entirely.
But so
Now, Floppy, this wouldn't be too bad if it was just like, like 2 days of playing and everything.
that is all it was. It was 2 days. It only came out on Wednesday.
One of the Ubisoft's offered perks for pre-ordering Deluxe Edition, 3 days early access.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So the people who this would affect the most are the people who
Paid extra money.
paid extra money to play it.
And lost literal days of progress.
How have they lost days? If you have lost days of progress, it means you don't have a job. You don't do anything about get a
don't have
game.
much of a life.
Don't fucking complain.
Wow.
I don't know. Like I've historically taken time off work
Jesus.
to play games at launch or like get into early access. I'd be pretty miffed if this happened to me.
I would say you played a lot of games, right?
Yes.
Should probably expect it. At this day and age, you should probably expect it.
I don't think we should expect it. I think we should hold the
I don't
industry
think
to a
we
higher
should.
standard
I don't think we
and
should.
expect games to be finished when they launch.
So do I, but you know it's not going to happen.
No, I know.
But no, because I got on Wednesday and I started playing today because work and stuff.
I, for one, like not being the controversial voice on the show. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy
Yeah, I'm
this.
going to take it we're in for a ride. I'm going to take it tonight.
Now, I will ask everyone. Obviously, Floppy's picked it up and got it.
Yep.
Is anyone else going to pick this one up and grab it?
I was going to, then I looked at the reviews.
What is wrong with a 7?
No, it's not like 7's sort of like the highest. They're sort of everywhere.
Nah, like 9's like the highest.
But
7's the average.
Guys, you're not going to believe what's above 9.
How many 10s has it got?
No. But no, I think it's been averaging around a 7.5 to an 8.
yeah, I think on Fantasy Critic it's a 7 at the moment.
Yep.
I was going to look into getting it. However, some reviewers whose opinion I trust and have a lot in common with sort of convinced me maybe to hold off for a bit.
Why is that?
Just the way the interactions they had with the game, because they'd obviously got early copies and managed to roll credits on it. The points they brought up, which prevented them from enjoying the game, are same things that would prevent me from enjoying the game.
Is that the things like repetitive stuff?
Repetitive stuff, but like storyline plot holes, like lack of, in their opinion, lack of emotion in the characters, like lack of character in the characters that you play and you interact with. Like you just don't give a shit about anyone. The logic that goes into sort of raid systems. Just they put up a lot of points. I thought, you know what, I might just hold off.
Do you know, I was listening to another reviewer as well, and they brought up a good point, though. Because they brought up a lot of those points that you've just said, but then they brought up a but. Mm-hmm. And their but was...
This been doing squats.
Their but was... But my review is not how anyone else plays because this is my job and I do it for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
One of the things I heard discussed on another separate podcast that I was listening to on the way here, they mentioned...
Dance around those titles.
Yeah, that's it. They mentioned how, like, for video game reviewers, especially with this one in particular, Ubisoft gave, if a reviewer wanted to get a review out on embargo, which, as they said, in this current state of the industry, is the only thing that websites and everything and publications want, because if your review doesn't come out on embargo, no one cares.
Yep.
If they wanted to get it done, they had 6 days to play this, including their weekend.
But it's only like a 17-hour game.
Which is pretty rough. But it's a
following the
big
golden path.
open world game. So the repetitive nature of it is kind of like hyper-focused when you're playing it in such a short amount of time. If you're playing this like
Casually.
every couple days over like 2 or 3 weeks, it might be super enjoyable, not feeling as repetitive.
Honestly, I am going... Because I know Floppy was eager for it, and I know Braden was eager for it. So I was actually going to hold off and wait to see what you guys thought.
Yep. Look, for the hour that I've played, it looks pretty, it controls well, and I like the menus.
I will be picking it up. I will pick it up. I know it's the type of game that I'm gonna like.
What about you, Anto?
I'm not going to get it. Just full stop. Not because I don't think it's not going to be fun for people who want to play it. It's just very much not the sort of game that I'm interested in much.
Not punishingly hard.
No, not even. It's not even difficulty based. Like for me,
No guitars.
with a very recent exception,
No sword guitars.
huge open world games like this, or at least games with like a Ubisoft style minimap, don't really do it for me. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the exception to that rule because it's Final Fantasy, but it also turned out just to be a really good example of how to do an open world game right. They pulled a lot of inspiration from like The Witcher and Assassin's Creed and a lot of other examples of open world stuff and just took the best of all of those things. And
Horizon
made it
was
into its
better.
own thing. But also, I'm just not into Star Wars enough. I feel like that's the biggest barrier to entry for this game is you need to be into Star Wars beyond enjoying watching the movies. And,
I disagree.
One thing I did like from the reviews I heard was that they liked the way it wasn't sort of crammed into Star Wars lore because this takes place between Empire and Jedi.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I think the exact quote was, it's this guy who gave Luke a lift to the local barn. You were that guy. How they fist those types of things.
It's just in the universe and it exists in there.
Yeah.
Which is what I always wanted from Star Wars for years.
So-
Like even before the sequels came out, I wanted more Star Wars based stories that didn't involve the Skywalkers.
That's
which
why I've
we've
been
seen.
really enjoying all the little mini things. Like I really enjoyed the Acolyte, and apart from Star Wars fans don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
Star Wars fans though don't like Star Wars.
Star Wars fans
Boy.
are the worst kind of Star Wars fans, though.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
just like Doctor Who fans,
Yeah.
just like any kind of fan. You're not fans. You're just an asshole.
You're fanatics.
yeah, and like the sort of like barrier or like the bar for enjoyment for me for Star Wars is lightsaber duels. I'm sorry, but if they're not in it and they're not good, I don't care.
Yeah, and that's
and
totally fair.
That's what makes this not for me. Like
You should then play Skywalker, Saga, Lego, Star Wars. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not into the super extended universe stuff and like anything that's sort of ancillary to
Yeah.
the plots that exist within the movies already. Like Episode 3 is my favorite one purely because of the choreography of the fights. So, this isn't for me.
All right, we should probably move on with the rest of the show because boy, is there a lot of it. I have been playing Pokemon Pinball. There you go. That's what I've been doing.
Wow.
There you are.
Wow.
That's not actually.
What was that? Was that people in suits? No.
That's an ad.
It's just animation.
It's an ad for Pokemon Pinball. Man, this game rocks.
Is
Pokemon
it
Pinball
though?
is really good.
And
How is
just
it
a
different to normal pinball?
I can't explain what is so addictive about it. It just really is.
So like heroin?
Yeah. It's like heroin.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Fucks you up.
But for 10 minutes, you have a real good time until they come down
Jesus.
or on, one of the two.
And then you have to sell your mum and...
Anyway, Anto,
Hello.
you've prepared something.
I have. So Floppy has already cracked the joke that I don't play anything that isn't punishingly hard.
that wasn't a joke. That was just fact.
We're gonna delve into this now before we move into topic 1, which is about video game difficulty and game design.
I thought we were talking about the Nintendo Direct, but that's
Brayden,
okay.
you can pull up video 1 from my comments.
Video 1, engage.
So I got bored after finishing Elden Ring,
Man, I would have got bored starting Elden Ring.
and I went back and did a Soul Level 1 playthrough
What's that?
of Dark Souls 1 and 2. So
What is Soul Level 1?
in the last week, I have finished Dark Souls 1 and 2 at level 1.
Why is
Without
this-
leveling my character in any way, shape, or
Oh,
form.
so like how Ben plays Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
That was once.
pretty much.
Why is his sword not doing anything to you?
Because I'm dodging.
Really? Because it's going right through you.
Yeah, invincibility frames. So yeah, I just decided after seeing a video of a YouTuber that I like their content, who also did this challenge, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a go.
You know what would have been really good?
What?
If you streamed it.
I'm going to do the third one.
Hey, there we go.
So yeah, I've done Dark Souls 1 and 2 at level 1.
How many levels are there?
You can max it out to ridiculous levels, but most people end a run at around level 120.
Oh, so that's really significant. Jesus.
So yeah, you don't level your character stats, you don't level your HP. That's my end game stats after beating the final boss. You literally just you can level weapons, you can change equipment, you can do all that stuff, use spells, whatever. You just don't get any extra HP from the start of a game or any extra stamina.
How do you stop it from auto-leveling?
You don't. You have to purposefully go in and level up at a bonfire and put souls into your stats and stuff. It's
so if you just don't do that one step, you don't level up?
Yeah. It's a thing. It's not like a typical RPG where you just get experience after fights and battles.
And then all of a sudden it goes like ding.
Yeah, it's just you get a balance of experience that you can pump into stats. And you just choose not to do that.
I have a legitimate question.
Yes.
When you do these things,
yes.
As someone who doesn't do these things, like challenge myself with games or things like that, like I don't. Do you find it fun or do you find it rewarding, or is it both?
Both.
Okay.
So yeah, the reason was I finished Elden Ring and I was like, okay, that was good. The final boss of the Elden Ring DLC is absolute bullshit, and I'll go into that a different time. But I saw this video that a YouTuber did who challenged themselves to do this game at level 1. And I was like, cool, I could probably do that too. I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll stop halfway through if it gets too difficult. And this time around, I actually had a fucking easier time at level 1 than I did my first time playing, leveling up my character and using summons and getting my friends to help me through the story.
Was that because the boss doesn't level with you?
No, the game is just a default difficulty setting.
Yeah, right.
And it's just... yeah, like nothing changes other than your character. So it was getting to the point, especially this is Dark Souls 2 footage. This is the final boss of Dark Souls 2. Again, finished at level 1. It was getting to the point here, especially the end game of Dark Souls 2, where I could take one hit and I would die. So it became more of an exercise of learning about the game's sort of like intricacies and how frames of animation worked and all that stuff. And it was just fun. And it is rewarding, but not in the sense of like... I did it for me, not for like showing off or anything.
Yes, Ben?
I have a question.
Yes.
From in England, do they have a different definition of what fun is to what Australia is? Or... I mean, because it makes sense, because it's a very gloomy place. And,
Land of Rain, yeah.
Some would say dismal.
Yeah, so I can see how, spending time researching game code to find invulnerability frames so you can finish a game on one heart is appealing. Me, I like chocolate, so...
I wouldn't say my definition of fun is much different to anyone else's.
I disagree.
Yeah, me too.
No, like this is just a way for me to get more life out of it, because I've already finished Dark Souls 1 and 2 100%.
You guys also read Beano.
Yeah, I did actually as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was just a way for me to extend the life of the game and do something different, because I've done like a melee-focused build, a spell build, a ranged attack build. It was just a way to get more out of the game.
Speaking of getting more out of a game,
yeah.
I saw someone had already modded Sun Wukong.
Black Myth Wukong?
Yeah, Black Myth. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, sorry, because it's on, yeah. Anyway, they modded Goku into there.
Yeah.
So, which is great.
But
That's
yeah,
something that never enters my mind to do, is to extend the life of a game, because I've got so many games that I don't have time to play.
Yeah, see, I've never subscribed to the whole like backlog thing. Like, I buy what I'm interested in, and if I'm not,
so do I. There's just more than I can play.
But yeah, no, it's just I started it as a thing that was fun. I didn't intend to do Dark Souls 2, but a friend of mine called me out publicly in my work chat and was like, "I bet you're not going to do the second one." And I was like, "Fuck you!"
Well,
Or you could have just said, correct.
So immediately out of spite.
Out of spite, I was like, "No, fuck you! I'm going to do
this will
it."
learn him.
So what you're
80
saying...
hours later.
What you're saying is you're easily manipulated.
Yes. But no, time-wise, I think my end game time for Dark Souls 1, if I take out the idle time that I spent in menus and like doing other things around the house, I think I finished it in about 15 hours.
Yeah, right.
Dark Souls 2 was a bit longer, probably double the in-game time, but again, maybe 6 to 10 hours deducted from that because I was spending time doing other things in my house.
So when are you going to start streaming number 3?
Not tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'm doing another stream tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. The Discord voted one?
Yes.
Excellent.
I bet you can't do number 3 with using Donkey Konga bongos.
use your Guitar Hero controller.
I mean,
but you can't do it with bongos.
No, I want to hear this.
Just bet you can't do it. Prove me wrong.
I mean, I'd have to do it soul level 1 on Dark Souls 3 first, and then I'll do it on the controller.
Yeah, I told you couldn't do it.
But yeah, I didn't say I wouldn't or couldn't do it. Shut up.
So easily
Sounds like someone can't do it, Floppy.
Hang on.
But yeah, and other than clearly demonstrating that I'm a masochist,
What was that?
I've also been playing Castlevania Dominus.
It's when it lays an egg the wrong way.
Sideways. Hurts more.
Just because you guys are bad at video games. Anyway. So other than, just ruining everyone else's time and having fun by myself, I've also been playing Castlevania.
I have fun by myself all the time.
Yeah, but you, in your defense, you didn't realise your daughter was home.
It's true.
I've also been playing Castlevania, True to Form.
Hey!
As soon as I saw this was announced, I went and bought it straight away on PS5, and I've maybe put like 3 hours into it over the last few days.
And that was announced during the
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Indie Direct.
Oh, like yesterday.
And the Partner Direct. Yeah. Which we will go through.
Funnily enough.
Some of the standouts very, very quickly.
What are you talking about?
Yes. So, first up, I saw one that you might want to talk about very briefly, Braden.
Yellow. Yes, I do want to talk about
Balatro?
this show. Oh my god, they started with Balatro, Friends of Jimbo, which is just 4 collaborations with other games for designs of cards, or I don't
So
know if they're
Gwent?
going to be new cards with new powers or something.
Well, those are Gwent cards, yeah. Vampire Survivor!
Yeah, so it's
How do you do that into cards?
Witcher 3, Vampire Survivor. I think they're just aesthetics.
Oh.
I don't think they're
Yeah, yeah.
actually... I haven't actually played it myself yet.
You know, in Solitaire when we were growing up? on
Yes, and the
486?
backs of the cards.
Yeah,
have-
you had to
Yeah.
pick your skin. Yeah,
So
it's
I
just
think
that.
it's picking your skin.
David Diver.
So it's Witcher 3, it's Vampire Survivors, it's Dave the Diver, and there's one more that'll be coming up. There
Oh,
it is.
no.
Get
Yep.
fucked.
Among
Piece of
Us.
shit.
Mugus.
Mungus.
Just for people who don't like video games.
I mean, he's already said he's bringing in a big update to it in 2025 as well. But this is just like to start with, like just a fun update. It's like,
How long before I can play this in Fortnite?
Probably already there.
Can I just point out? Can I just point out Townsy's comment in the chat? The Witcher ones need more dongs and titties.
Speaking of dongs and titties, Power Wash Simulator Shrek. Braden, you want to talk about that?
Clean up the swamp.
well, I mean, this was an unexpected reveal. This was a lot. We've got Power Wash Simulator Shrek, which they've shown off 2 levels of apparently, I think there's going to be a couple. I think there's going to be like 3 to 5, all different locations from Shrek. There's the Dragon's Lair and there's Shrek Swamp, obviously.
I would play this if you could wash the Shrek off the game, because Shrek sucks.
Oh,
You're an angry man tonight.
I know. I'm
angry man.
Hey, I will go on the record. There are plenty of people out there that can say that I have never liked Shrek.
damn.
Why?
Well, I guess
enough.
you're not an
It's
all-star.
just not funny.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Speaking of an amazing,
It's
we
not
got a
funny.
release date for Never.
It's never coming out. Ha!
No,
This
it
look-
is.
no, this look
October
good.
15.
this is by the same people that made Gree.
Yeah, did you know green means grey in Spanish?
Yeah.
Yes, I told you that.
No, you didn't. I did my own independent research.
When I told you.
No, it was well before that.
Sure.
Estudio español en mi escuela,
See.
por favor. So yeah, this looks cool.
This looks very good.
You know that little wolfy boy is going to die. It's going to be
Yeah.
heart wrenching, but you know, you get that. That's
This
what you
looks
get for having feelings and emotions. Be a soulless automaton like me. I stuffed up that word too, but whatever.
Automaton?
That's the one.
That's the one. That's what he meant.
And then we
Sea
get
of Stars, free DLC.
free DLC.
Yeah, Ben, you must be all over that, surely.
Yeah, I just have to finish the game, and I'll be right in that.
I might even start it one day.
They put him a completionist back into it.
Really though, this game's
That
awesome.
looks cool. I have not played it.
It's beautiful, and it's a great game. It's
Looks
modern day Chrono Trigger, basically. It's real good time. Oh man, I do want to get back to playing this. Plucky Squire, September 17.
So excited for Plucky Squire.
Hell
Looks
yeah.
so good.
Incidentally, I have Never and Plucky Squire on my fantasy critic. I'm
Why?
hoping they score real big because Floppy's kicking all our asses at the moment.
I'm just going to say, I thought it said fucky Squire.
Of course you
And I was really interested in the game all of a sudden.
And then the big granddaddy
This looks cool.
of them all, Marvel vs. Capcom, digital release September 12th,
I will be so shit at this game.
and then physical in November sometime.
This is super exciting.
Because
Purely because of the
number 2.
licensing fuckery
Yep.
that had to be pulled and the wizardry Capcom have done to get these to be released again.
Especially physically.
Yeah.
I'm excited because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is exceptionally hard to get, especially on the arcade. It's one of the few Street Fighter games I don't have in my arcade
What else
system.
did it come out on?
Dreamcast,
Dreamcast,
Xbox.
PS2, Xbox, and then it got a digital release on PS3 and Xbox Live Arcade in like 2010.
I've got a weird feeling I've got it on PS2.
Yeah, there was an anniversary collection on PS2.
No, but the actual one as well. I think I've seen it in your collection.
Yeah. But yeah, super, super, super interesting. Plasma Sword's getting a release for the first time.
Oh, this is the fighting one.
ever.
This is a separate.
This is the
separate
fighting
one.
collection.
Yeah.
This is also super exciting because like
just,
Power
like-
Stone is locked to the PSP and the Dreamcast.
Capcom are just like, they're having a lot of fun. They're crushing
Capcom,
it at the
unlike
moment.
every other video game company with a backlog of 20, 30 years, has gone, hey, remember these games that we can make money off again? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Like Dino Crisis.
Oh, well, yeah, they're getting there.
I think this is literally them testing the waters to see what IP they can bring next.
Yep.
And like
Dino Crisis.
re-release.
Yep.
I would kill for Dino Crisis to be not even remade, just give us a slight bump in visual fidelity and bring it out again.
I want Resident Evil
Or put it in the RE
remake
engine.
version Dino
Yeah.
Crisis.
I
Just
just
put it in the RE4 engine.
just dinosaurs.
also
give me dinosaurs.
rollback netcode on all of these games, which means they'll actually work online.
Awesome. Can't wait to get my ass kicked by everyone.
Ooh, Punisher.
Then, I've been following this game for a while, actually. It's called Europa. Studio Ghibli inspired, sort of a Nintendo 64 feel to it. But a great little indie game that is coming out October 11th. I highly recommend everyone checking this out. I've been following it for a long, long time. On TikTok, of all places.
That looks cool.
Yeah, great little place to play. Not TikTok, this world in which we're
Yeah, this
inhabiting.
looks great.
Yeah, so check that out.
That's not coming physically, though, is it?
It's an indie game, so it might go down the
Probably
path
not.
of other indie games in that it gets a
Yes.
digital release, and if it's enough want for a limited
Might get
run.
physical lady. Physical lady?
Physical lady, hey!
I'm a lady.
Did you guys see this trailer for Morsels?
Yeah, I skipped it for a reason.
This game looks weird as shit.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
It does kind of. It is cool because it looks like Dan made it.
It does look. I like the CRT filter that they've got going over it. It's a bit of
Oh,
fun.
I thought it was just a shit version of the clip.
See,
No,
I'm
it's
pretty
designed
terrible because like
CRTs look shit.
I don't watch the announcements in full for these things anymore. I go straight to like a website to see what was announced,
I
and
do
then
the
I
same
watch
thing.
what I want to watch.
I still like to be surprised.
So as soon as I saw that Castlevania Dominus Collection was coming out, I lost my shit.
All
I
right,
was
hit
so
us.
excited.
Hit us, Anto.
What is this?
So the Dominus Collection is a re-release of the DS trilogy of Castlevania games.
And how's Dominus written? Did you notice that?
No,
Capital D, capital S.
No, it's not.
On the printing
Oh, okay.
of the game.
of the game.
Oh,
No, I didn't
DS.
notice that.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Ah.
it means, yeah. But yeah, so they were originally just completely. The only way you could play them was getting hold of the DS copies of these games. They also included Haunted Castle, which was typically a pretty bad Castlevania game, but they've remastered it, turned it into like a modern remake almost. Weirdly enough, I thought these would not translate well on modern systems because they all have touch controls implemented quite heavily into them. But they fixed that and just gave you button inputs for all of the stuff you need to use for touchscreen for, and it worked really well.
I got them on DS.
If you're a big fan of anything Metroid, or you like Symphony of the Night, or any of the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games,
I do.
this is all of those things again, and this is easily another like 200 hours of gameplay for $30.
Finish that by the time I'm 54.
Brayden, you wanted to bring up one quickly.
Yes. Is this? You mean this bonus
The
one? that I
bonus
put in
one?
here?
Yes, the bonus.
Okay, let me bring up the bonus one. I didn't know this. I only just saw this today. Freaking Crocs coming back. Woo! What are you talking about, man?
It's gonna be so good.
It's my childhood right here. Oh man.
Here's a quick little quiz on your face for you.
Oh.
So, what character was the Croc game originally pitched as? What kind of game was it?
What do you mean? Like it was there was an existing title that this
There was an
pi-
existing franchise that they were trying to pitch a game for, and they were turned down. So then they turned it into
Crocodile
Anto.
Dundee.
No.
Did you just call out your name? It's not actually quiz on your face.
Well, that's what
Anto,
said
what do you
it
reckon?
was. I reckon it was either Bubsy or Crash Bandicoot.
No.
No? Okay.
Braden, you want to give it a crack?
Was it the Geico Gecko?
No.
Was it Gex?
No. It was Yoshi.
Really?
Yeah, it was pitched as a Yoshi game.
Shit, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
There's no one to punch me in the back of the head. Wouldn't work.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah, you looking forward to that, Braden?
Yeah, it'd be a bit fun.
I won't play it.
I won't play it either.
I'll play it. I'll play it, even though I just bought Croc 1 and 2 on PS1 like within the last month.
All right, Anto.
Hello.
Time for a bit of a topic of
Yes.
this show.
So I'm very conscious of the fact that time is...
No.
Of the essence.
Time is of the essence.
You've got 15 to 18 minutes, so
Sick.
go for it.
So, off the back of my self-imposed
Be over here.
challenge to play Dark Souls 1 and 2 at level 1, I got to thinking about video game design and difficulty. I'm going to be asking Ben and Floppy for their opinions on a lot of this stuff because...
Playing Pokemon Go.
You're not playing Pokemon Go, you're on your phone. Like, on Twitch.
Don't ruin the illusion, man. It was a bit.
Theatre.
So yeah, I will be streaming Dark Souls 3 at Soul Level 1 at some point in the near future. I'm going to give myself a bit of a break. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so video game difficulty and the way it's approached in different genres and across the industry as a general thing
Too hard.
is kind of cool to me.
Baby mode. Baby mode.
Before we get into it, and before Ben continues to say baby mode on repeat,
I can just say
I want my
happy
baby mode,
birthday.
baby mode, baby mode, baby mode ribs.
Hadn't even thought of that. It was a great one.
The following, this is just disclaimer to say that the following opinions and discussion topics are not to do with video game accessibility. This is purely about how video game difficulty is sort of implemented into different games, because everyone should be able to play video games regardless of their
Jeez,
range of
Braden, read the
movement,
room.
physical, mental ability, whatever. It's a general discussion about the different types of difficulty and mechanics that serve to allow players of different skill levels to play games, not their physical ability to do so. So, we're going to start by talking about rubber banding, which is
Fucking love it.
implemented into racing games.
Put it
like
into
it.
every game.
Yeah, I like it when you curl it around your finger around here and it's like a gun, and then you release your finger and it shoots like a
We
gun.
do not
So,
condone gun
I do.
violence.
Do it right at your sister's eyes. That's what I did. Now I have a pirate for a sister. It's a great
As I've
time.
just talked about gun violence.
No, I was talking about rubber banding.
Okay.
And shooting someone's eye out.
I love rubber banding because it allows me to actually enjoy playing Mario Kart.
okay, fair enough. So, I was going to say, rubber banding as a general concept is if you're doing very well in something like Mario Kart, the game will adjust the speed of computer-controlled opponents so that they start speeding up to an artificial degree to catch up with you and present a challenge. And if you're too far behind, they will slow down purposefully to allow you to catch up and do better.
And give you bullet bills.
That's a different discussion altogether. But
Whoops.
no, it still ties in, like, because it's all about how video games like create artificial difficulty or ease. But yeah, like Mario Kart, specifically Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Wii, and most recently Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because we still don't have Mario Kart 9. Screw you, Nintendo.
It's coming, all right.
it's
They're doing
not.
their best.
It'll be a launch title for Switch 2 or whatever. the hell it
exactly.
is.
So it's coming.
So it'll be
won't.
2027.
No, it'll be a launch title.
It also exists pretty predominantly as a game design mechanic in stuff like Need for Speed Underground and most recently Need for Speed, I think it was Unbound.
Unbound.
And that's the reason I got rid of Unbound. Well, one of them, because I've already talked about how, as a general thing, it didn't feel like my kind of racing game, which
Wasn't
is
rubber-bound.
typically arcadey. But I noticed that, no matter how well I was doing or driving, it was so hard to outrun the CPU.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like, as far as racing games are concerned, player skill should be taken into account massively. And like, if you're able to literally run laps around people, like CPU-wise, you shouldn't be punished for that. Similarly, if you're doing terribly, get better.
I don't think there was in Unbound because I played that and it was not that hard.
Oh, well, there you go.
And you're much better at
at
you're much better at those things than I am.
I don't know. See, like, I found Unbound specifically very, very hard to play.
Really?
Yeah, like, once I got the hang of how it felt, I still didn't like it, but I just didn't like the fact that no matter what I was doing,
Yeah.
I couldn't seem to outrun the CPU, ever. I don't know if I mistakenly clicked on like a higher difficulty mode or something at the beginning, but I don't recall that.
You know, his problem was he didn't feel the need.
The need
For
speed. Ow!
But yeah,
You let me fucking hang.
If you're an old man and you know it, clap your hands. I'm not.
You don't get to do that. Take that clap back now.
I'm 34 next Tuesday. Leave me
Oh
alone.
no! Oh, it's all over. Everyone, start digging a hole.
Oh no!
And I have a spinal condition, so I'm artificially like double my age.
I'm still like closer to 25 than I am to anything else.
You're a robot, cyborg,
robot.
and you inherit the Earth.
Maybe. I don't want to, though.
There you go. No, who'd want to? Jesus Christ, this hellscape.
But yeah, so rubber banding is one thing that people use in racing games specifically, but then you've got static game difficulty, which is
that just like hard, medium?
yeah, that's
easy?
when you're given a choice of a beginning of a game, which is like easy, medium, normal, hard, whatever.
Baby ass, baby mode.
So-
every time.
And that is where baby mode originated.
Yes, it
The
is.
original Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Yep.
That's not the original Wolfenstein. But,
No.
So
That's so good.
This kind of difficulty is normally implemented in most like sort of
Mein
wide
Leben.
appealing video games. So any big budget AAA title, most indie titles that have static difficulty will present you those options. This normally just affects things like enemy health, attack damage received by the player, attack damage done by the player, how many
How
invincibility
spongy
frames
they
you
are.
have. Yeah, it sort of serves as a way to artificially
How glass-jawed you are.
yeah, it's literally just how your avatar is scaled versus enemies and that kind of thing. It's the easiest way to balance a video game that is intended to hit like a wider audience and not be like a niche title. I've got some stuff to talk about as far as like static and dynamic difficulty in a minute, but you guys are obviously
Bad.
a little bit time. No, I was going to say you guys are probably a little bit more time poor than I am because of my work situation. Like I work from home, so I've got a lot of free time in between bits and pieces. So I play video games probably a fair amount more than both.
I would say probably 3 to 4 times more.
Yeah.
Combined.
So, and obviously, Braden, like, feel free to weigh in with any kind of opinion as well.
Just any of them. Doesn't have to be yours.
Obviously, your opinion would be better, but if you have thoughts, go for it. Personally, I found myself in recent years not jumping into the hardest difficulty straight away. I normally go with like slightly above normal. So if there's 4 options, I'll go for hard, not crazy.
If I feel adventurous, I'll start normal.
Okay.
And then quickly, within about 2 to 3 levels or whatever hours, go, yeah, nah, baby.
I'll just go
So
baby.
different.
I'm baby ass baby mode all the time.
And that's purely because of like time allowance, right? Like you guys.
Yeah, I buy a game to enjoy it.
I just don't like. I don't want it to be. I want to just enjoy. I play games for story, not
Yeah.
for challenge.
Can I just give a really good analogy of the type of person I am? Because I'm sure you know.
Hang on. Done.
So, like, you know, my favorite Street Fighter character is Ryu. My favorite Mortal Kombat character is Sub-Zero.
Also boring.
Mario Brothers. That's what I'm getting to.
Yep.
If I want to eat food, I don't like spice because I don't want to be in pain when I'm eating something. I
Or
just want
have
to
flavour.
enjoy it. No, it's not about flavor. It's about why am I eating something and sweating? That's not fun. Why am I in... Yeah, so basically, pepper, no thank you. Just give me the beige oats.
White bread and butter, please, but none of that
Hey,
flavoursome butter.
Dark
Just
rye
Marge.
bread. I don't like the sugar. It's too coarse. So, hey, come on. I am a bald man with a beard. I speak for Australia.
But no, I mean, I probably could play. I could very much play on higher difficulties. I choose not to because it's not the reason that I play.
No, I like enjoying games. I play games to have fun.
I'm not saying that you can't enjoy them by playing them on high. I play purely for the story and not for a challenge. Does that make sense?
I get very angry at inanimate objects. So
I've seen your couch.
I'm not
Okay,
JD Vance.
JD Vance.
But does that make sense, Anto? Like I as much as I'm not saying that harder difficulties aren't enjoyable, but it's a different reason. Like I don't play to be challenged. Does that make sense?
To me personally, no, because
You don't understand that someone else could have
no.
that opinion.
it's not that, and it like I want to stress this as well. Like my preferences for how to play video games are not the standard, and I'm not in any way trying to gatekeep anyone from playing a video game the way they want to. Like, games are
I
yours.
wasn't insinuating.
No, I'm just saying this just in case someone gets the wrong idea.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Rather not. But yeah,
Floppy
like,
will.
It's really interesting to me as well, like Ben's opinion, because I know...
It's the first time.
No.
Interesting is a nice way of saying stupid.
No, that anyone's interested in my
Because
opinion.
as far as I understand it, you, Floppy, you started playing video games in, like, at least more seriously in the PlayStation 1 era. Like,
Yes.
that's where you picked up a system and you started
That's when I
playing
bought my first system.
more.
Other than
Yeah.
that, it was I played what I had.
Ben, you grew up
available.
playing Nintendo games. Like, you grew up playing Nintendo hard shit. So, it's interesting to me that growing up in the era where games were designed to be difficult to prolong their life and so people got more value out of them,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's made you go the opposite direction instead of wanting to challenge yourself.
See, mine is different though. I grew up playing story-based games, and that's what I continued to feed on and need. So I grew up playing the Sierra Adventure games that you guys all loved when we tried Space Quest 1. Did Braden pop up? I didn't see.
Yeah, he did. He was walking the left.
But so my first interaction with games were interactive stories, and they weren't terribly difficult unless you can't figure out how to walk. Just saying. Hot tip: not by tape and walk.
Yes, you're right, Anto.
Yeah.
I did grow up with punishing games that were, there.
Mega Man, Castlevania, like that kind of
I
stuff.
didn't play them. They were too hard.
That was too hard.
Mario Brothers 1.
I mean, that's still a good point. Like, Mario 1 is still pretty challenging.
But I have somewhat
people.
of an addictive personality with some of these things. So I would play it until even now I can sit down and blitz Mario 1 pretty easily. Mario 3 as well. Blaster Master, I've never finished that game. These
No one
types
should.
of games, slaps though. What a game. I was more interested, like Floppy, in the storyline, but I was more interested in the meta.
Okay.
So when you started to get games like Street Fighter coming out, where you had a little sliver of a character. Oh, this is Ryu, and he wants to be the best fighter in the world, so he goes around challenging people. This is Ken. He was Ryu's partner growing up. Partner, who knows? Training partner.
Sparring partner.
And he has gone the opposite route to Ryu, whereas Ryu looks at the traditional karate side of things. Ken is more sports, goal-orientated, blah, blah, blah. But
Jock.
could never overcome the fact that he still thinks Ryu's better from him, constantly trying to prove it to himself that he's better. Then you got Bison, who just wants to blah, 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 blah. I was obsessed with finding out all those little nuggets that tied into it.
Nuggets.
So yeah, I guess similar to like what Floppy is, I like getting the base storyline and then seeing what the meta is around it. I think it's why I got so addicted to Fortnite for a while there. Because they had a really engrossing storyline going through it.
Oh, see, I disagree. I realised they did. I never saw a storyline. I played that for the social aspect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a storyline. I loved it.
But we're getting away from difficulty.
We are, and we're running out of time. We're hijacking Anto's segment. But
Braden,
it's got
thoughts?
7 minutes long.
I'm a normie-ass normie. I play games on normal.
Woo! Still better than
Normal.
us.
So yeah,
Bit
obviously,
fucking hard.
there's all sorts of different approaches to this specific kind of difficulty as well. We'll talk a bit more about choices in a minute. The next kind of difficulty that I found the industry uses is DDA, or Dynamic Difficulty Adjustment. So this is when the game is designed to automatically change parameters, scenarios, and behaviors of non-player controlled elements of video games in real time based on player performance. So it's usually implemented to avoid players feeling bored or too frustrated or whatever.
Doing
if
the
the
same
game's
thing
too
over and
easy
over
or
again.
too difficult. With the goal being to keep the experience balanced so the player is kept engaged all the way through. So my, I guess, examples of this most recently would be things like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. From the get-go, you could choose easy, normal, or dynamic difficulty. Devil May Cry, the series from 1 to 5, has had dynamic scaling. So even though you can choose a difficulty at the beginning of Devil May Cry, the game still monitors, like how many hits you take, how many combos you get, just how many enemies you're successfully killing per encounter, that kind of thing. And it scales things either up or down slightly, depending on how you're doing. The original Resident Evil 4 also has a static difficulty option that you choose at the beginning, whether it's beginner through to professional. But even then, regardless of difficulty that you're playing on, depending on what you do per encounter, the water room in the castle is a good example. If you're getting constantly overwhelmed by enemies, they'll scale down how many appear at different intervals during that fight if you're not doing so well. If you're just cruising through, killing everything without a second thought, they'll start increasing the amount of enemies, changing the enemy type. So they've got like shields or different weapons.
Like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, and based on your performance, especially in Resident Evil 4...
If you shit, they'll make it easier.
Yeah, but also, it's not just like enemy difficulty. They'll give you less or more ammo drops and more healing items depending on how much damage you're taking and that kind of thing. So it's super intricately designed. But I think this sort of thing, like dynamic difficulty, I think that's exactly what every game should implement from the get-go. Like, instead of there being like an arbitrary choice that you make at the beginning, just give you a way to play the game without worrying about the difficulty you've chosen and like the sort of social, I guess, repercussions of that. One of the people in the chat, Dylan the Villain, just mentioned that like he's experienced conversations with people who have judged them for not playing on the hardest difficulty mode, and like, fuck those people, you know? Like, again, play the game how you want to, because everyone gets enjoyment out of things a different way. But yeah, I think dynamic difficulty is the way that the industry should go, so that you don't have to worry about it, and the conversation stops being, oh, you're a tryhard, or you're an idiot, or you can't play video games.
I think it's the funniest thing ever when someone tries to flex on you that they can play a video game on hard. It's like, oh, can you? Okay. I've got a girlfriend and a kid.
I mean...
Don't live with me mum.
I don't live with my mum. I haven't for 10 years.
That's what... No, I know. But you don't flex it on people, though, do you?
No, that's true. That's true. But
all right, we got to keep moving. We are running out of time.
So, the last difficulty that I want to talk about is just like true static difficulty. So, we talked about it a minute ago. Dark Souls. The game is as difficult as it is. Demon Souls and Bloodborne also fall into this. Elden Ring as well. The game is just designed with a singular vision in mind. It's as difficult as it is, regardless of like your choice.
No. I can sum it up in 2 words. It's designed with... what did you say there? Sorry, just lead me in.
Huh?
You were saying before it's designed with one theme in mind?
Just with like a singular focus.
Yeah, singular focus. And that singular focus is fuck you.
And the horse you fucking rode in on.
I disagree. Because From Software's game design approach is really interesting in the way that the game is... Like, the enemy health doesn't change unless you go into New Game Plus, which is a whole other thing. But like, the base game for each title is... As it is, enemies have a set amount of health, a set amount of movement, a set amount of attacks that they can do, and those conditions don't change other than based on what you as a player do.
That tail was really distracting.
So, you know, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne all have systems in them that allow you to approach the game in a huge amount of ways. So you can play as an upfront sword and board character, sword and shield. You can just go in, block attacks.
I love sword and shield. I love the three frames a second.
Tank hits.
I love the little Pikachus.
Just, you know, you can just go in and play as an up-close fighter if you want to. You're going to use more healing items that way, and it might be a bit more difficult, especially as a new player.
That's like the way Anto just keeps on going like
ignores you.
He's like, yeah, hi Ben, I'm going to train.
It's correct. It's correct. It's what you got to do.
And Brayden knows.
But then you could also
this
play
is
as
podcasting on
Spellcaster.
hard difficulty. Is ignoring
You podcast
Ben.
with me, you choose hard mode, motherfucker. That's right, I'm coming for you. Me and my mouth. I'm going to gobble you up.
That's
not
far
hard.
too sexual.
Actually, that is the hard mode.
TLDR, Dark Souls is super interesting because there are different ways to play it, which makes a difficulty choice or a difficulty slider completely irrelevant because the game is as easy or hard as you want to make it.
A difficulty slider is going to a kid's playground and gluing bits of broken bottle down the slide.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
To cap it off,
shit.
I think realistically,
Sandpaper
video game difficulty and design should be intentional without there being like a giant scale. Like, games should just be intentionally designed, and the game should give you the tools to make things easier, depending on how you want to play
Next
them.
person going down would be quicker though, because all the blood would act like a loop.
done.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand, Anto?
Hello.
You know how you were talking about accessibility?
Yes.
Is difficulty not accessibility as well?
I don't think so, because
I can't play these games.
That's right. You bought what did you bought Sekiro last weekend? You got it for like $4.
I did.
At a market, and how's that going?
I haven't even touched it. But but that's irrelevant because I just haven't had time. What I'm talking about is, would you class accessibility option, like not physical accessibility as in adaptive controllers or anything like that, but the sheer fact of I probably would enjoy the story of these games, but I won't ever touch them.
See, I don't think difficulty is accessibility.
Should they have a story mode where you can play through them without
We've talked
the challenge?
about this before. They need a dad mode.
Yeah.
Guys, the story mode on a From Software game is item descriptions.
Now,
Where you read the item
if you-
description.
It sort of ties into my deeper point, which we don't really have the time to go into.
Don't have time
in
for
more detail.
Anto's deeper points, everyone.
But like my
Deep
sort
points.
of approach to video games is, if you only want the cinematic part of it, why are you playing something that requires your participation? Like, if you
Well,
want
I'd
to
say-
just experience the story, you should
YouTube!
just watch a movie or watch a game.
I want to be. I don't want to be just a passive observer. I want to be an active participant in a story, if that makes sense. Kind of like reading a book or reading a Choose Your Own Adventure, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it.
I don't want it to be punishingly difficult. I just want to be I want to make choices. I want to do actions, but I don't want to. I'm just curious about your opinions on whether difficulty becomes an accessibility option.
Yeah, I don't think it does, and I think the
You're
reason
wrong.
I don't think that is because you regularly see people on Twitch playing, and these people are insanely good at video games.
No, you had the first part right.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like there's I don't know her name or Twitch handle, so apologies for that if you ever hear or see this.
Some person.
But there's a lady on Twitch who most recently finished 2 versions of Elden Ring running at the same time on 2 dance pads.
But that should be that is in no way, shape, or form should ever be a benchmark for anything.
No, it's not a benchmark.
That's
but
a novelty,
it's
like you did with your Dark Souls.
But there's also Broly Legs, who is a famous Street Fighter competitor who, again, I don't know the medical condition, can only play with the movement in his left thumb, and he uses his tongue and cheek to press buttons and do inputs. And he was playing at professional events in like 2010 to 15.
Yes.
Like, I don't think difficulty is an accessibility issue so much as people's willingness to learn
Do you think
is a barrier to entry.
having time is a difficulty issue?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's what I mean when it comes to accessibility. I don't mean physical accessibility.
But like-
I, of course, have full use of
Yeah.
limbs and can use the controls and do all that. Mine sheerly balls to the wall comes down to time that
Yeah,
can be invested.
of course.
And if it
And-
can't be invested enough to get good at those games because they are so hard, then I can't play them.
Well, I've got a good
But
company for it.
I would probably enjoy the stories.
It's called Nintendo.
Well, this is the thing as well. Like, time is obviously a factor, but there's also priorities, right? Like, if you have free time and you decide to invest, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, if you decide that free time is better put elsewhere, that's fine. But if you had the option and the willingness to do it, but you choose not to, then that's not a decision or a question of accessibility or like difficulity. It's
Free time.
you just don't want to.
What's that?
So yeah,
It's something they wrote of in the dark times, way back when. We will be announcing very, very soon what we're rebranding as. We've got the name, we've got the logo.
we've got the domain.
No, we don't yet.
Oh, don't we?
I haven't got that
Shit,
yet.
we
We've got the
probably should do
YouTube.
that.
Yeah, well, I should jump on that. I have to wait till more Patreon money comes through. Michael Towns.
Damn. Wow.
As our
You can literally
glorious
see the
benefactor.
You can see the dollar signs in his eyes. Ding, 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 ding.
And all our other beloved Patreons. Floppy, who are they?
All of the people.
A lot of their
where's
names
the
are going
list?
across
Where's
the
the
bottom
list?
of the screen. Constantly.
We have Seth, aka Sutek. We've got Ash Knight, Karen Knight, Dylan the Villain, Triple Indy, Mike Towns, Game Boy Dad.
So we will be coming at you in a time that is soon.
On you.
In 4D.
And we'll be announcing to you just before the Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair the revamped Hack the Dino. Look forward to that. And also look forward to Floppy's beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Floppy?
Oh, say, can you say? Oh, say, can you say? Say, can you say? Say, woo, yeah.
Keep going.
No, I'm done.